Hey everybody, it's the 31st of August and kind of doing my monthly wrap up of what all has transpired for me and giving you guys kind of like the insight of what I go through. Um, the month of August has been a whirlwind. It has gone really quickly and it's gone really fast. During this month I've had a total of 3 chemo cycles, including the one I had yesterday. And it pretty much kicked my ass. The last 2 have been that way. First 2 were walk in the park. Next day, feeling fine, feeling good. Um, but the last 2 have they really kicked me hard. Um, and it's the only thing I kind of relate it to is that there's this 70s movie that ABC did called Brian's Song, where it was a true life story about an athlete who gets leukemia, and so there's a scene in there where he's going through the chemotherapy. Um, and again, chemotherapy today is different than it was back then, but it was, for me, it was pretty much that same type of nightmare experience that you go through at the end, with your body fighting with the drugs. But then after the hard fight is over with, then your body starts to recover, and that's kind of where I am today. Sleeping a lot on those recovery days and taking it easy for the next few days. I want to say with all of the... Oh, sorry about that, guys. One of my cats. This is Jerry. Hey, there you are. He's 12 years old. He's one of my 2. I got Ben and Jerry. So if you've... Anyway, back to what I was saying. With a lot of gratitude in my heart, I need to say to everybody, thank you so much for all the prayers, the support, the well wishes, and just being there for me. It's been phenomenal. It's been very emotional, and I'm really grateful for all of that. So the month of August has been crazy. As you guys have seen, I'm actually in a different space than I was in July. July, it was really emotional about just kind of coming to terms with all of that. There is, at the end of this, a little bit of the whole thing's a longer clip, but I have a humor clip at the end regarding some of the fun things that have transpired. I'm taking an approach, rather than being angry and sad, trying to have some levity with it. Yeah, I do know it's a very serious disease, and I'm battling it, and I'm taking on that responsibility the way it is. But at the same time, I'm not gonna let it beat me. I'm gonna beat it, and I'm gonna do it with some fun, with some humor, and with a smile on my face wherever I can. So anyway, in some of the photos that I've put on Facebook, yeah, they're not necessarily the most pretty photos, because cancer itself and what you go through is not necessarily the most pretty thing or glamorous thing in the world, but it is what it is. It's kind of a hard reality, and so I'm sharing it, and just want you guys to know what I'm going through. In one of the last photos, I wear this as it's a little chemo frog. He's like a little poison dart frog with bright colors and so forth. And so I wear him every cycle, just kind of reminding me of what's kind of going on in my body. And then what I've got is another one that I've bought. I bought these a few years ago at Arts and Crafts Festival. This is actually a frog prince, or a frog king, with a little crown on him and everything else. So my intention is, once I complete the chemo and get the green light that we're in remission, or not necessarily remission, but we're in the cure cycle, or whatever, the end point of whatever it's being called. That's again part of what I'm still trying to figure out. I'm going to change from the chemo frog to the frog prince, because it is a winning experience. So yeah, I'm still emotional about stuff, but it is what it is, and I'm just fully embracing it. So again, I'm going to keep this a little bit short, but again, like I said, I want to just thank everybody for their support and prayers, and I will continue to need them as time goes on through this whole process. So have a great month of September, and we'll see you soon. Hey everybody, so in this part I'm talking a little bit more about some of the humor or some of the lighter aspects of what I'm going through. Um, One of the side effects I've had that I don't know if it had come into effect at the time I recorded the last session was foot sensitivity. The balls of my feet have gotten really sensitive, so it's been kind of, I still can walk, I'm still comfortable in walking, but it's just weird sensations. So Croc actually makes a very fun looking orthopedic type of shoe designed for diabetics and people with foot sensitivity. So yeah, I've got my lovely Crocs here. You put two of these together on some long legs like I have, and guess what? You've got Mickey Mouse feet. And I'm actually going to get a black pair, so they're going to be really Mickey Mouse-ish looking. But they're really comfortable. They look a little stupid, a little hokey, but hey, it's all about comfort right now, and I am taking advantage of that whole comfort thing. Another fun thing that's happened fairly recently in the last week was I went back to the zoo and I did one of the concerts. There's like 3 left for the summer. I did one, the next one, which is happening on Sundays, which is my birthday, so I'm not going to be there. And then our final concert on September 22nd with Cyndi Lauper. I'm going to definitely be doing that one as well too. So I went back to the zoo to do the Zoo Tunes concert, and so I took a big sheet cake thanking all the volunteers that I work with for all their love, their prayers, and support, and that was awesome. But what happened the day before was I went to Party World to pick up some compostable plates. The zoo is really hyper about wanting to not use to recycle and to compost and do all those great things. So I wanted to make sure that I was doing my part. So I got compostable party plates, and so I went to go check out in the whole bit. Gave the cashier my card, the swipe and the whole bit, and on the back I wrote ID required, so that way it's always being checked. But in all the stuff I went through with losing the hair or shaving parts of it, and I still have spots, losing the mustache, losing the goatee, losing a bunch of weight, glasses, I look nothing like my DMV photo. So here's the poor clerk, she's looking at my ID, she's looking up at me, looking at my ID, looking up at me, and I don't look anything like my photo. And so I had a hat on at the time, took that off, and I said, chemo. And she goes, oh. And then her eyes bugged out. She goes, oh. And so she handed me my ID back and handed me my card. She goes, here you go, have a great day. And I think she didn't know what to do with me, but it made me chuckle a little bit because, again, people don't know what to do with you because the chemo word kind of freaks everybody out. It's like I can say the chemo word, I can say the cancer word, I can say Hodgkin's, whatever it is. People don't know how to react or respond. And for me, actually, it's like, it's a bit of I'm having a little bit of fun with it. Sometimes at people's expense because it's something that I've had to embrace. It's like anything that happens in your life, you have to sometimes just embrace it. And I've kind of taken that approach. Rather than crying, rather than being angry, I have my moments. I have all that's going on when I say, yes, I am angry about it, and yes, I get emotional about it, but I'm also trying to have some lightheartedness with it. A lot of humor is a great place to be sometimes when you're just trying to figure out where you are and what's going on. So I've been, very lighthearted in a lot of ways about what's going on. It's like I've dubbed the I don't know if they're hematologists or what they're called, but I go to the lab every other week I go every week to get my blood drawn, either before chemotherapy or on those off weeks to just get a level check as to what's all happening in my body. And so I call them the vampires. And so when I went in for one of my blood draws, there I was on the Bluetooth talking to somebody, had a skinny vanilla latte in one hand and my arm was stuck out with the other, and basically they were taking blood and I was just sipping away on my coffee and having a good time. What else are you gonna do? I mean, you're gonna get stuck one way or another. I mean stuck with a needle. They're gonna poke you and take the blood, so have fun with it, or I can freak out. When I started the process, I was deathly afraid of needles. Now it's like, okay, here you go, here's my arm. Which one do you want? Left, right? Do you want the top? Do you want the bottom? You know, what are you gonna do? It is what it is. Another thing that freaks people out is the portacat. I have this port in my chest, and if you saw some of the Facebook photos, you saw this big bandage thing on my chest. That actually is the hardware attached to what's sitting inside of my chest. It's basically like a little orb that sits there, and they basically put hardware on top, and they kind of throw this needle into it and hook me up. So there's a coworker of mine who sits not too far away, a few cubes away, and so when I went back to work in August, early part of August, everybody wants to know what's going on, so I'm explaining the whole process, what I go through, and the whole thing with getting hooked up, and the chemotherapy, and everything else. So she walks by every time I get to the part about the portacat, and she's like, la 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 la, I don't want to hear about it, I don't want to hear about it. And rightly so. I mean, if she's, you know, it is what it is. But so it's sort of like a little chuckle when she sees me talking to somebody. She will actually make a detour, kind of going around the cubes, because people will stop by my cube and we'll chat, or we'll go to another space. But every time, even when we go to another space completely away from the cube area, there she is walking on by, and we're right there talking about the portacat. So that's another little humorous spot about it. A lot of people get freaked out, and I'm just simply like trying to have some fun with it, share the story, but still share the story in a way that doesn't freak them out, because when you hear the word cancer, you hear the word Hodgkin's, a lot of people are like, whoa, oh my gosh, you know, and the whole thing. You know, I'm Hodgkin's stage 4, which is as bad as you can get with Hodgkin's, as bad as you can get with cancer. But the beauty is I got a 90% success rate, or a cure rate, even at that far along in the process. So I'm just trying to be in great spirits, trying to have fun with it, and just have a good time. So I did get the iPad, because we have to be chemo chic. I'm still looking for a fun, colorful hat. I've got the Kangles I'm wearing now, which are fun, but I need to find something a little bit more out there. The other cool thing is that they offer wigs to every cancer patient, men and women. So I was thinking maybe a Carol Channing bob or something like that to kind of complement my head, but we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm going to try to have some fun with this. I know there's going to be some hard days. There are some hard days I have with it, namely that right after chemo. But even when I'm in the chair all hooked up, and we've done 3, and by the time I post this, I'll have done 4 chemos, because my next one is actually on the 30th, and the 31st is going to be probably a harsh day for me, but I'm just trying to have fun and just be light, and kind of just enjoy with what the experience is. It's a little bit like I've listened to a couple of different people talk about their experience, and the same thing. It's like, you know, there's a fine line between crying and laughing, and I'm choosing to take the side of the line that's more on the laughing side. Another interesting thing that's going on with me right now a little bit is I'm having these funky dreams, and I'm waking up realizing I've had arguments with inanimate objects. There was the toaster, there was the pillow, and now I'm waiting for the lampshade to show up in one of my dreams and having an argument with that. I gotta work it through,